Whee!
The target console is nearby. If you trigger
You
the
got
alarm,
it. No video played. The broadcast I was watching has ended. How does that happen? How does that work? That's odd. How's that?
Oh, she finished streaming.
No, I'm not watching her stream. I'm watching ours.
No.
It says we've been live for 28 seconds. What? I wonder if it disconnected and reconnected due to frame rate or something. That's weird. That's very, very odd. What? Go back. Go back. What happened? This is what I was looking for. I don't understand. Is it still going? No, it restarted. End it, and then go back. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter.
Daddy,
so Woody!
I think they saw you and started the alarm. They're destroying data now.
Okay, so my video frame rate does keep dropping.
Our precious
I do need
data.
to figure that out. What?
Our precious data.
It's on A, which is where you are. They saw you. They saw you. Did you mess it up?
Yes. Yes. Well, whatever. I'm going for B. Oh,
Well,
no,
one of
B.
these, we're gonna have to get all three of them, I think.
I'm going for C.
Didn't go for C. Are you okay?
No. It's always mine. Last round, it was mine that got destroyed too.
Yeah.
And you couldn't receive it.
So it happens. Alright. You want me to walk you through this one and wait for you? 'Cause this is where the game gets challenging. Learning how to hack consoles, all this tough stuff. So glad you learned how to do that, right? What are you doing? Calm down. Well, I'll wait on you. I'll wait on you.
Don't.
It's not a big deal. Huh?
Don't.
Don't wait on you?
Yes.
You want me to just do it all?
If you wait on me, you're probably just going to destroy it.
No, because I'm not going into that area yet. We won't touch anything. That'll give me a chance to fix the stream. Oh wait, he's trying to kill me.
I told you.
I'm here, I'm alive, I'm fine. I'm just waiting on you. Oh. My sound went out, but it was just... Alright, you ready?
No.
What?
We lost.
You lost. Here. Where are you?
Well, a double rainbow is a phenomenon of optics that displays the spectrum of light due to the sun shining on droplets of moisture in the atmosphere.
Okay,
Does that explain?
I will come find you. There you are. You're not lost.
I was.
Downstairs, downstairs. No, you're not lost. You're just working your way here. Finding your way through things, that's
I'm
all.
gonna hack this.
Nothing wrong with that. Wait, you're gonna hack what? It's already hacked. What are you talking about? We only need one of two. We only need 2 vaults. So
No,
missing.
I'm resetting security. I'm happy.
Oh, this guy's mad. Oh boy. Oh.
Well, a double rainbow is a phenomenon
A
of
double
optics that displays a spectrum
rainbow.
of light due to the sun shining on droplets of moisture in the atmosphere.
Ryan
That's
Crozier's liked it. Thank you, Ryan. What's up, buddy? I'm gonna die. No, I'm good. You here yet? Where are you? There you are. Don't walk through the fart cloud. You get poison. Okay, you're good. When that guy dies, he leaves a fart cloud. It's a poison cloud, and then I just call it a fart cloud. Alright. It's time to pull out my Nikona. You ready?
I don't know where we're supposed to go.
Oh, like an assassin. Up here, where are you? Come on, you're in the right. You're going the right direction. See if you can sneak up behind these guys and kill them.
No. I'm not gonna
Alright.
be able to sneak up.
Hack this console.
No.
This is just the open the door console. And then I'll walk you slowly through how to beat these, okay?
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start displaying the data.
Alright, walk slowly out and look at your openings. Do you see? Where are you at? Walk with me. Walk everywhere I walk. Alright, well, don't go through that door. Don't. You see the lines? Those lines? Those are lasers. If you walk through there, they'll see you. And it'll turn the alarm on. So we can go through there, or we can go... No, we can't go this way. This is actually the way we'll come out. Alright, so we go through this way. We have to... Alright, you see... Stand in the doorway where I'm standing. You'll see these lines. You're gonna see those lines to your left. You see them?
No. Oh, this?
Yeah, those lines. You hear the sound where it goes... No, to the left. That was your right. To the left. Up there. Yeah, watch. You see that? You jumped when I did that. See that? Okay, you can't get hit by those. Now, you can jump where I'm at, up here. And then you can jump over them, like this.
I'm stuck. Oh. I barely...
You made it. Alright, come on out. Just barrel roll onto this. There you go. Alright, well, don't go too far, because I don't know where the next set of... Okay, in this hallway, we've got to jump on the wall, and there's another set below us. You see it? Alright, now we go to the right in here. And then...
What? Where are you?
I came down here. Where'd you go? Did you go up? Yeah, we have to go up, actually.
Ah!
Sorry. There's an opening right here. We have to get into here. You with me? I'm on a treadmill here.
Yeah!
You got it? Okay, we go in here. Just be careful, because there's little lines there. So, like, dodge roll between them. Whee! Like that. You're very close. It's okay. Jump up in the air. Jump up in the air. I don't actually remember where this one's at, though. Alright, then we come over here. And that's where we came from. That's where we came from. We go down. All the way to the floor. Oh, here we go. It was right here the whole time. Alright, we've got 19 seconds. We have plenty of time. Plenty of time. Do you want to hack it?
No. I do not want to hack it.
Okay.
You got it. The data is still intact.
You got it. Alright, you can come this way.
And there's nothing more for us here.
Come in here.
Distraction.
Come in here.
No.
That's it.
Or don't.
That's an arcane code.
You're hacking. Okay. Alright. Fair enough. What's up, John Dobbs? How you doing, man?
I ruined the whole freaking mission.
No, you didn't ruin the mission. Give yourself some slack. Calm down. You're good. You're fine. It's okay. Everything's fine. No one's hurt. All's well. All right. Did you come in here? Right here, baby. This is where we exit. Remember I said that little tunnel was where we were going to come out? It just looked like a place where we'll eventually come out there. Alright, now we just make it to the extraction. We're good. That was the mission. Oh, Mr. Fart Cloud. And bye-bye. Ow! Ooh, ah. What ninja doesn't have a flamethrower? What is the best way to learn graphic design, advertising, and marketing? The best way to learn advertising, graphic design, and marketing would be, it really depends on what you mean by best. What I would highly recommend would be getting around in some of the programs that you can do design in, and just get familiar with the programs, because you're going to need a base level of skill in order to start learning how to advertise and market with graphic design. So first you have to learn graphic design, then you have to learn advertising and marketing with the skill set of graphic design, because there's advertising and marketing that's not graphic design as well. So first off, I would use things like Canva, and I would use things like Adobe Illustrator. I would start to use programs like Photoshop. One of the things that's really, really important right now, especially for like YouTubers, if you can find any YouTubers that you really like their stuff, and see if you can't like make some stuff for them for free, like do some, like, hey, I'd like to try my hand at designing this and that and the other. I designed you some thumbnails for your videos. Give it a shot and see if you like them, kind of thing. Try that out and see if that works. Queue up the next mission, baby. And then when you get where you understand like the ins and outs of the graphic design programs, then you can start applying that skill toward marketing and advertising. Marketing and advertising's single purpose is to drive business to something or awareness of something. So then what you want to do is figure out who might benefit from your skill set. So churches are one of the things that very rarely think of needing marketing and advertising, because they think strictly in terms of like word of mouth growth. The truth is, visual aids go a long way in helping people spread word of mouth, or helping people use and facilitating word of mouth growth. That's kind of cool.
And that it doesn't matter which one to get, because it's probably just going to be destroyed.
Okay, we'll go whichever one you want to go to, and I'll go to the other ones. If you have a scholarship, go to college. Like if college is free, why not go? Some people have college already paid for. Good for them. I did not. So paying for graphic design in college probably would have been a waste in comparison to, because honestly, like the whole first part of college and graphic design is learning the programs and stuff like that, which you can do with YouTube. You can learn the programs with YouTube. If you really have a passion for this, use YouTube to figure out, hey, how do I make circles in InDesign? Yeah, I still look stuff up in InDesign and Photoshop, because there are things that are like unique techniques or whatever, where I'm like, oh man, I really want to figure out how to do that kind of effect. Well, that kind of effect on this particular thing is done in a certain kind of way, and it's not always easy to reproduce. Crud. I just walked in a circle, didn't I?
You did that?
Yeah, that's me. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. We do have to get all 3 vaults correct, though. So.
All 3?
Yep.
You've triggered the alarms. Lose this data, and the mission will be.
Well, I got it. No, I guess I didn't.
This mission's gonna be a complete
No.
failure.
No, it's not. You got this. I believe in you. Just hack the consoles.
Wait, you're dead?
Nope. I did mine. You got time. Just hack the console. Concentrate on hacking the console. Stop killing people and hack the console. You got plenty of time left. These are easy. Just get in there and hack the console. Give me that. Look, you open the door. Oh my goodness. How did you get such a difficult one?
I don't know. I would never get this.
Mine wasn't like this.
Ah!
Okay. Alright, well, you know, we'll do it again.
I want to.
Then stop playing. This is your mission, though. Anyway, what were the programs again? I'm going to write them down. Canva, C-A-N-V-A, Canva. You can use it for free. It's nice. It's a cool tool. There's one on a phone that's called it's mobile. I want to say it's called I'm looking. Ripple, R-I-P-L is a good one. Ripple, R-I-P-L. Canva. There's a bunch. Some of them are like meme creators or something like that. They allow you to do certain things. Of course, the Adobe suite has Adobe Capture, Adobe Draw, and Rush, which is for video, which are also great. In all honesty, learn how to use Wix. Wix is great for building websites, but it's a visual builder, so it has a lot of the same elements that graphic design tools will use in terms of creating and designing. And you'll understand layers and how layers interact to create certain visual effects and different things like that, which is very, very helpful. Queue up the mission, kiddo. Let's go. Learning the tools is important, and finding, you need practice. You don't just need to piddle around with it, though. You need goal-oriented, valid practice. So finding places that can use, that can use some volunteer help, and then saying, hey, I'd like to volunteer to help you with this. Can I make a flyer for you, or can I do this for you or that for you? And just like doing some little stuff that you can do for free so that you can get some experience, and then use that experience as learning opportunities. Then honestly, like, going to college for design is not a bad idea, because it's a low stress environment. You don't have goal oriented learning. You just simply have hands-on module type learning, which means that you're not responsible for the goals not being met. Whereas with goal-oriented learning, it's like, hey, we needed this flyer made. The flyer was intended to do this. That didn't happen because your design sucked. And so, goal-oriented learning has the drawback of carrying risk factors with it. In other words, like, it didn't work like we thought it was going to work. From there, I would say an internship is your best bet. But getting an internship, they're going to want to know what kind of skills you have. That you're working with, that you're going to be able to help them in their internship with, which is again why learning, it'll be helpful to learn through some of the hands-on learning that you've been doing before. And turning lasers off.
What?
There's another one. You can turn the lasers off. I need to get... I think I need to get into here. Oh, no. No, this takes me back out. It's not where I need to be. Is that the... I wonder... Yeah, that might work. And then down through here. Yeah, anyway, so as you get familiar with a lot of the programs they're going to want you to use, they're going to want to see some of your work, you know, for the internship. Especially if the internship is paid, they're going to know that, you know, they're paying you, and oftentimes internships come through the college that you're connected to, but not always. Sometimes they'll take people off the street for internships, especially if they show enough initiative and drive and skill to trust them with work for their clients. There is a liability issue with companies allowing people to work for their clients as like an employee would without paying them. So unpaid internships are becoming like less and less popular, just because it creates like a liability for the company as a whole, which is sad because there's a real value to the learner there, the intern, for what they can get their hands on. But people, what they want to do now is they want to get their hands on a college degree and then act like they know what they're doing, and then go work somewhere when they really haven't learned jack. They're just, you know, have a degree because they paid for it, and they paid somebody essentially to tell them that they now know how to do something, which doesn't necessarily mean that they actually know how to do it. They just paid somebody to tell them that they did, and validate that with that confidence with a piece of paper, rather than something that actually delivers results. It's not always necessarily true, because some colleges have active internships that they place people in, and that is a bit more helpful in terms of providing you with a valid work experience through the college program. Man.
Seriously?
Yeah, I opened the wrong door. I'm sorry. I'm fine though. I'll get it. Don't worry. Okay, let's hack this sucker.
No! Dang it! I accidentally fell through the lasers.
You're fine. Just run them through. Open the door. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait. Wait. What? Where's the console? The heck? Oh no!
I'm gonna fail this.
I got this one.
No, I didn't get mine.
Retrieval was successful.
Can you
Oh jeez.
see?
That's the one that you gotta do?
I'm gonna stop going for A.
It's still not it though. There's more to it. Where's the actual console that you have to hack?
Right there.
Wow, 1 second left. Holy cow! Okay, cool. So, anyway, once you get that kind of familiarity with the programs, you get maybe some kind of internship. Honestly, if you're working somewhere and they're paying you, even paying you like a minimum wage or something, and you're working there and you're learning, just stay there and keep learning, dude. Like, what's the harm in getting any kind of like low-paying job? Then working your way into more experience. More experience means higher pay, and eventually, if you so desire, stepping out on your own to do your own thing, which is honestly like is what I do, but it's not for everybody. It's hard. I think the hardest part about it is learning to live with a little as you build up. Everybody wants like the dream. And they're like, oh, I want to work for myself, I want to own my own business, and do my own thing, be my own boss, blah, blah, blah. Truth is, like, all of that sucks, and all of that looks like constantly working and sleeping very little. All of it looks like making tons of sacrifices and getting paid very little. It's hard, which is why you really, truly have to be doing what you want to be doing when you make those kind of sacrifices, because there are days when you're going to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if you can't answer that, you stop doing it. plain and simple. Like, this is what it all comes down to. The rest of learning it is honestly like you got to get your hands on the programs. If you got to get a job at McDonald's or whatever, Chick-fil-A, something like that, and earn the $29.99 a month that it takes to get a subscription to Illustrator so you can start learning the tools, Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop. Get your subscription, get it active, and just know that you got to pay for that. Cancel your subscription to Netflix. Cancel your cable. You know, lower your cell phone bill. Like, whatever you got to do. Like, because you are not going to design without the programs to design in. And without being familiar with the programs every company relies on a professional level to use for their businesses. Oh, you're here. Yay. So there's a star. Did you get it? Nice. Nice. Yeah, and that would be how I would say start. Also, if you're doing work for someone, especially if you're doing any kind of work for them for free, any kind of clubs or groups or you know, any little programs or church events or whatever, you can do some sort of flyer to help enhance what they're doing and get some kind of feedback from. Helps because it helps hone your skills. And people look at it and go, man, this was terrible, or man, this was great. And like all the feedback is good feedback. Even if, man, this is terrible, just don't settle for, man, this is terrible. Get them to tell you specifically why it was bad, like why they thought it was bad, because feedback and critical feedback is the thing that's going to enhance and grow you the most. So if somebody can tell you why your design sucked, that's the most helpful thing you can get your hands on. Let's see. I feel like I answered your question, but then I feel like there's pieces of it that I didn't miss. So, like, if there's more that you have to that, ask. I'll be glad to keep, yapping about it. Best way to learn graphic design, advertising, marketing. Honestly, I think Gary Vee is a wonderful motivational speaker as well as a brilliant marketer. Just go YouTube some of his videos. He's really, really smart. Stay away from things like Billie Jean is marketing. Stay away from things like all these ClickFunnels stuff that you see, ClickFunnels and things like that. They're one-trick ponies. They're one-stop shops. They work for a while. It's like Pet Rocks back in the 80s. They work for a little while and then they stop working. The whole idea of marketing, there's really like two basic components to marketing and advertising, which is one, get people's attention, and then two, what do you do with it once you have it? Whenever you get to it, that in essence is like 100% of marketing and advertising. One, get people's attention, and two, what you do. Gary Vaynerchuk. So look at VaynerMedia. He's built like a.
Can I do some Hydron?
A megalopoly. Yeah, we can do some Hydron. You don't want to keep doing your missions?
No.
Why not? You're almost done.
I don't want.
You're through with all the hacking stuff. Now you're moving on to some of the other stuff. It's okay. If you just want to do some Hydron, we'll do some Hydron. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other ones that honestly, I don't. Okay, so there's some books you need to read. You need to read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. It's a great book. It's about the amount of information that the brain processes in the blink of an eye. It's a great book. Blink. Needs to start understanding how people think. Good advertising speaks to people in ways that they want to be spoken to. So it's really about trying to understand how people prefer to be talked to and the ways in which they prefer to be interacted with. Like, my wife is notorious for writing these long, did I say long emails, of which I never read any of them, and we're part of the same kind of like community for homeschoolers, and she writes these long emails. I never read them, and then she's like, I emailed about that a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, that never got read, because like I don't read long emails. So put a really big font, really colorful. Yeah, Gabe Stafford recommended that book. Yeah, he would. It's a great book. Another good book is, anyway, learning how to speak to people in the way they want to be spoken to is really, really important. That's an important part of advertising. It's an important part of life in general, but it's a really important part of advertising, especially if you're going to have any kind of skill level with that. Another good book is called Freakonomics. It's like the word economics, but the word freak in front of it. So Freakonomics. I can't remember exactly who wrote that book. I want to say it's like Stephen something and Stephen something else. The two Stevens. It's a great book. It's got the cover of it had a picture of a green apple, and the inside of the green apple was an orange. So it's weird. Basically, the idea is that things seem to be one thing on the outside, but at a closer look, there's something else. Freakonomics asks questions that people don't often ask, like, why are teachers like sumo wrestlers? And it's not because they're all fat. It's actually because the ways in which their incentive structures are set up encourages them in a very specific kind of way. And he talks about how that turns into an economy among sumo wrestlers and an economy among teachers, and he breaks that down. The idea is it's starting to learn systematically how things fit together, because when you communicate and you're trying to get somebody to do this or to do that, you're doing that from within a system, or they're plugged into something, and you need to know, like, let's say you're trying to change the way people perceive abortion or teen pregnancy or something like that. You need to understand systematically how they see it to begin with, and what kind of like things are at play in order to understand how best to speak into that. And honestly, like that's what good advertising will do. It's useful, and graphics, video, all of that kind of stuff helps. It's all extremely, extremely useful, but it's only useful in so much as you actually know what to do with it. Or, you know, if you've got the tool, here? They're really, really strong, aren't they?
Daddy, why are white people here?
that's really funny. They're here because somebody's being attacked. Freakonomics, Blink. What's another good book? I'm not a big fan of reading, so all the books that I recommend are books that I've either read, or within the first couple of pages you can get a lot out of them. The Tipping Point is another one by Malcolm Gladwell, which is really, really good. It's a book about kind of how things line up, and there's a point at which, like, you would normally give up, or right before real change is made or something like that, and there's this tipping point where, like, the secret recipe, or all things being equal, everything adds up, and then, like, everything's going a certain way, and then tips, and that tip is either positive or negative based off of whether or not it reaches the desired results you were reaching for or not. But, like, there's a place where it's the tipping point of things. So again, that goes back to kind of like motivational factors, and make no mistake about it, like, if you're in marketing and advertising, you're in the business of motivating people, period. You're motivating people to buy another candy bar, you're motivating people to buy this energy drink, you're motivating people to change their lives, you're motivating people to change their minds. Like, it's 100% like the graphic is the what would we say? The motivational speakers of the graphic world, right? That's what marketing and advertising is. Actually, write that down. That's actually pretty good. But yeah, that's essentially what you're doing. So understanding motivation, understanding like what makes people tick is important, and then understanding how to communicate into that. Understanding when what you're doing is like counterculture, when counterculture is a good thing, when counterculture is a bad thing, little things like that. Honestly, like, college was helpful in a way for me, because it bought me time before getting into the real world, where I had time to do things and talk to people and stick my foot in my mouth where it didn't matter. And make mistakes in places where it didn't matter, and there was learning experience there. I would say that you can get that though outside of college. You can get that in internships or volunteering somewhere. I'm just one of those people that everywhere I go, no matter what I do and no matter what I see, I'm constantly trying to improve things. Like even with video games like this game and other games, I'll play the game and I love them and I enjoy them, but my brain is constantly looking for ways to make it better, even if I already love the game. It's just, there's a way of being critical that you kind of have to develop, but you also have to develop a thick enough skin that you can be critical of your own stuff in order to improve. And that's really, I mean, the best way to learn graphic design, marketing, and advertising is to learn how to be critical without being negative, I guess. And that's like one of the lessons that I learned while I was in college, but I don't have college to thank for that. I just learned it while I was there, if that makes sense. Kind of bought me time to learn some of these lessons. I don't know. I feel like I've said a lot, but I don't know if I've fully answered your question. So, you know, if you have a question or you have any other questions, just ask them. And if anybody else is watching or still watching or not watching at all, and you have questions related to this or not related to this, go ahead and ask too. Like, by all means. I guess I can be a space ninja and a master marketer at the same time. I'm trying to think of some other books. Mwah. Love you, boo.
Love you too.
Keep fighting.
You know, there's a lot of academic books that people, like, for communication, people recommend, like, rhetoric. People use the word rhetoric a lot, like, oh, that's just fancy rhetoric. And I'm like, well, rhetoric is thrown around as, like, a... like, oh, that's just semantics. I'm like, well, semantics and rhetoric are, they're both like actual parts of speech, and they're actual aspects of our speech, and they shouldn't be villainized as if they're bad, because they're not. Rhetoric and logic and semantics and syntax, they're all parts of our speech, and like to use them derogatorily is you know, I get what people are trying to say is that it's just semantics or just rhetoric, and they mean that in a negative way, but like it's really kind of throwing shade on the whole cognitive process, like the whole thought process as a whole, and it's saying like, oh, well, you're just using thought to back up your communication, and it's like, well, yeah, I am using thought to back up what I say. Like that's kind of like a no-brainer. Semantics, it's like, excuse me, it's like wordplay. Like when people will play with words, they'll explain something and they'll explain it in a different way that tries to broaden the understanding. Some people who don't like that, simply because they don't like it, will say, oh, that's semantics. What semantics is it's the, you know, the art of combining words to make meaning. And it's like, well, of course it is. What they're really trying to say, the underlying message that they're trying to say is like, I don't like what you just said, and because I don't like it, I don't agree with it, because they don't actually have an argument back for it. So they'll say, oh, that's just semantics, now you're playing with words. Like, we're all playing with words. That's all we're ever doing. That's all we do. Logic and thought are all built out of language, so understanding language is a huge impact on like whether or not you're good at thinking, and whether or not your good or bad thinking becomes good or bad conversation. But ultimately, that's, you know, semantics is wordplay, if you will. But it's not really play. It's just how we combine words to make meaning. And so there's basically what they're saying is like, well, sure, if you combine words in that way to make that mean that, then yeah, but you're just combining words in that way to make it mean that. It's like, well, that's exactly what anybody else is doing too. You just don't like it, so you're using it as a derogatory term, when in fact it isn't necessarily a derogatory term. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I mean, it should, but Anyway. What else you got, man? Throw them at me. I'm here. I'm here all night.
I'm not.
You're not? You're going to bed? Is it 10
Yeah.
o'clock? It is 10 o'clock almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
After I finish this, I should set my shoes out and go to bed.
Okay. Set your shoes out and go to bed. Yeah, because we have class starts tomorrow.
Yeah, we have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go to school.
I know. We have to get up early, don't we?
If we lived closer, then we wouldn't have to get up so early.
You know, if we lived closer to that, then we'd live farther from everything else that I need.
So,
Wow.
you do stuff. You do stuff. And
Anyway.
Mom is forcing kids to get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah. 1 day a week. Just fine. So you'd rather me have to get up at 6 like 7 days a week, 5 days a week, so that you don't have to get up at 6 at all? You can get up at 7 instead. You'd still have to get up early, even if we lived close, because you'd have to be ready.
But still, one has to
You
wake
just-
up at like 6
No,
a.m.
the exact number of 6, no, but you would still have to be up by like 7. Trimming the drive time off by 30 minutes isn't gonna do anything but make you able to get up 30 minutes later.
Yeah, that means more.
30 minutes? Do the math. You would take 5 days of an hour drive from me just to get 1 day of 30 minutes more sleep for you. That just, the math doesn't add up. Anywho. Would you consider using me as an intern to get some hands-on experience with you? You know, I think I would, but to be all honest with you, like, I'll treat you the way I would treat any other intern at this moment. I would say, where's your portfolio? What does your stuff look like? If you're asking me to do a favor for you and take you under my wing and teach you, I would, yeah, I'd be happy to. But not on paid projects. It would have to be on something like, say, for the stream. Like, I have set up a couple of design profiles for our YouTube videos that I use, templates. I've created my own templates that I use. A part of marketing is understanding how to upload and tag things in a specific way and write the descriptions for marketing purposes. Thumbnails are a really, really important part of video marketing. So if your thumbnails are good, then there's a better chance that people are going to actually click on and watch the video. So we can start with something like that. But like I said, I already have templates that I've created for myself. But, you know, I guess low risk. I personally would be looking for like low risk projects to work with you on, because I wouldn't want, no offense, but I don't know what you're capable of, so I wouldn't really want you to be able to screw any of it up. So I'd want to be able to like work with you on something that you have a low chance of actually being able to mess up, which means stuff just for me personally, like on the YouTube or the Facebook or things like that. Would I be willing to let you work on my Facebook some? Sure. Would I be willing to let you do some posting and like make some memes and little things like that that help create content? For sure. Would you be able to use that as a portfolio? Only if you took it serious enough so that what you produce is of good quality, that you're proud of. Then yeah, because then you could take that anywhere and they'll be like, well, what kind of experience do you have? And you can say, well, I manage this Facebook presence and I help create content for this, and I create visuals for this, and I do visuals for that, and here's some samples of my work. And that's all like helpful, so it would help build your portfolio, but only if you end up being proud of the work for your portfolio, because that's really where it's at. Would it be paid? No, you'd need to get your own job and be able to pay your own bills in the meantime, but it would definitely, if you took it seriously, it would definitely be work that you'd be able to use. And that as we do it, I could kind of teach you more about social media. There's a million things going on in social media right now, and a lot of the stuff just changed recently. So, you know, communities and managing groups and communities is a huge part of that. Would you be able to say that you were an intern for a certain company?
Extraction is ready.
No,
More of the enemy.
no, because I can't officially speak for the company. I'm not the only one who owns my company. There's 3 of us who run the company together. But in terms of valid work that you could turn in as a portfolio, yeah. Yeah, because I can tell you the kind of things I would be looking for that I would want to know, and then I can teach you what some of those things are, and then you could use a low-risk presence in order to kind of practice that with. And then as you get your skill set up and you get some stuff under your belt, save some of your favorite ones, and then I can teach you how to turn that into quote-unquote case studies or project, like to demonstrate results. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Vicky Bragwell is watching. Hi, Vicky. There's a bunch of people I know that I said I haven't said hi to that I've kind of seen pop on and off. It's really weird. I've got the stream up, and on one of the dashboards I actually have to have multiple dashboards up because it's not actually showing me all of the hey, come shut your computer down. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Man, do you have more questions? Keep throwing them at me. I'm gonna be here chilling and playing games for a little bit. I don't mind. We'll just keep throwing them out there. Having fun. Reach might be good. And then we'll want some vitality, but honestly, strength. I don't really have the best mods, but excuse me. What's up, buddy?
So,
Put that on instead.
well, when your game's over, well, when it says game over, well, like me, when it says game over, I just quit playing the game when it says game over 10 times. So when
Do you want something?
Yeah.
What do you want, buddy? What are you trying to ask me for?
Well, when the game says game over 10 times, well, don't lay down wherever I'm gonna lay down.
You want me to come lay down with you?
Uh-huh.
Whenever I go to sleep?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll come lay down with you. Do you want to lay down in here? On my couch? In my office?
Well, where are you gonna lay down? I'm gonna lay in here.
You are.
Yes.
You can.
You go lay. I'm gonna lay wherever you go lay.
Well, I'm not going to lay down right now. But if you want, I will let you lay down in here with me while I fall asleep. Oh, while you fall asleep? While I play.
Well,
Would you like that?
yeah.
Then you'll be in here with me while you fall asleep.
Well,
And then you normally wake up in the middle of the night and come find me anyway, don't you? Yeah, you can do that.
And where are you gonna lay down?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I may lay down on the couch in the living room, or maybe in the bed. I usually try to go to bed, and then one of your sissies is in my bed, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Dad.
What?
What are those blue dots doing?
They are our sound, matching our sound.
Oh.
What are the most popular forms of social media to advertise for? I mean, the most popular forms of social media are Facebook and YouTube, like hands down. Is it going to stay that way?
Can I
I don't
help?
really know. Huh?
Can I help?
You can help by going to bed. Hi, Avery. Ryan says hi. Look, he says hi, Avery.
Hi.
Hi. Right. Hop down. Go get ready for bed. You can sleep in here with Sissy if you want. You just have to make a pallet on the floor, the two of you. Or lay on the couch, one of you at one end and one of you at the other. Most popular forms of social media to advertise on. I would say that your top ones at this point are Facebook, YouTube. I shudder to think of like Twitter as something that I would include in that list, because it's honestly just like a troll. It's a platform of trolls. It's where good memes go to die, if that makes sense. Like it's really just a if you're ready to trash talk, I guess, go to Twitter. It should be called Trasher instead of Twitter. Anyway, Instagram is really popular, and so is Snapchat. All of these are really, really popular platforms right now. It does not necessarily mean that they're going to stay the popular platforms. Also, the ways in which they're being used is changing, and some of the most popular are not necessarily the most effective. So just because something is a popular platform and has X number of people worldwide does not necessarily mean that it's the best platform for someone's particular niche. It just means that it has the most people on it. It's kind of like saying that, like, I don't know, a lawnmower, you know, that cuts a ton of grass all at once is the best thing for cutting grass. So it's not true if you're trying to weed eat. You know, if you're trying to trim around something very delicately, you don't just want to go bowling over that with a lawnmower, right? You need to be able to like edge and get neatly up against something in a fine-tuned, careful and delicate kind of way, right? And that's kind of what I mean by that. So not all tools are created equal. Like I would say that if you are a company and you haven't considered Discord and creating a Discord community as a viable option, then you're missing out tremendously, because there's all kinds of things you can do, like holding contests with some of your top customers and getting feedback, creating referral opportunities, creating special offer opportunities, and basically kind of keeping your customer base to yourself. They used to do that through email, where you'd create an email marketing list and like sign up for our email newsletter, blah 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 blah. And like, when the last time somebody checked email for something that was, you know, seemed like spam, was like forever ago. But people who are active in Discord, you know, people who use Discord are very active. Period. Anyway, and a lot of them are gamers. Or content creators. So if you're doing anything tech related, there's a huge footprint that you're able to tap into there, and it's a high engagement footprint. So you may have 500 people, but those 500 people on Discord are going to be far more likely to be involved and interactive than 500 people on Facebook, who are there for other reasons. 500 active people on an email newsletter, not as good as an active community of 500 people. For whatever reason, like, just email in general doesn't perform the same way that Discord does. Discord notifications come straight to your phone or your desktop. You can be logged in on a browser, or you can be logged in on that, like on an app, on the app itself. It can support screen shares, voice chat, hashtags, forum type setup, like all kinds of stuff like that. So the multiplicity of uses that it has for like engaging with the community is great. It does need a way for you, like, it doesn't host video. The videos have to be hosted, like video content has to be hosted somewhere, like YouTube or whatever, but it makes a great way of like setting announcements, you know? So if you're a company and you have announcements to make, like, that's a great place to be. Would Snickers benefit from it for their candy bars? I mean, I don't know how many announcements Snickers has to make. Possibly. I would really need to know more about what their goals were before I just recommend a platform. There's no, like, this platform is great for every business. There isn't. And anybody who says that's an idiot. Because you really need to understand what the business's goals are. I would say that having a Facebook page is becoming a bit like having a website or a business card, where everybody kind of needs one. So as a marketer, you need to understand how business pages work, the ins and outs of, like, behind the scenes, because there's a lot of stuff that I go to do for some of our clients and they don't know how to do it. Like, they don't even know how to get their end set up so that I can then do what I need to do for them. They're that far out. They've just heard about this here social media stuff, and it's like, that's just not how it works. Sorry. Social media is really about creating a community, and I think Zuckerberg had a good point where he said it's either your, like, community meetups. Social media has kind of taken the place of, like, where people used to get together. What did he say? Like, their little community meetups and or their living room, and social media access both sometimes. And sometimes they need to know when it's private and when it's okay to be, like, in front of everybody, and there's a distinction. Companies need to understand when consumers are trying to make that distinction so that they can appropriately be in those spaces without being a nuisance. That's really the risk that companies run. Is there too often they run the risk, or they don't even run the risk, they trample over the concept of risking being a nuisance by totally becoming a nuisance. Because they get in there and they just sell. And they don't realize that social media is about being social. It's 100% about being social. Businesses just want to be there because businesses always want to be wherever the people are so that they have a chance of getting attention. And then once you get attention, what do you do with it? Well, nothing if there's no opportunity. Or the moment that you got their attention was inopportune. So, does that make sense? It's like you watch some of these, like, motivational speaker videos or whatever, and then they'll have a Q&A afterwards. Or, you know, imagine being at a comedy club and hearing a comedian speak up, and then the comedian, for whatever reason, some of these comedians do this, they'll open up the floor. If you can imagine trying to plug your Amway business at the end of one of those things, and how obnoxious that would be to people. Like, yes, you have their attention, but you were just really annoying with it just then. And so the moment you had attention, you didn't have opportunity, but you tried to capitalize on a lack of opportunity. And so a lot of times companies will do that with social media all over the place. It's just more nuanced and less obvious. Like, the whole idea of a comedy club is easy because people are there for comedy, but people are on social media in a lot of ways for comedy. Like, life is hard, and we oftentimes turn to social media for a little bit of entertainment while we're sitting on the toilet or sitting in the waiting room at the doctor's office, or, you know, in between classes at school or something like that. And so we're seeking a little bit of entertainment. And companies haven't yet caught on to the idea that, like, you're here on social media to entertain people, essentially, because you cannot you cannot advertise to an empty room, right? So why newspapers worked, why magazines worked back in the day in terms of advertising platforms, is because they had their own stories, they had their own content, provided their own entertainment. And what I would do as a company, I would capitalize on their ability to entertain their audience by paying for an advertising space inside of that. So what's going to happen is, as people are more and more entertaining with their own presences, companies are less profitable by trying to sell through their own experience. And what they need to do is like either piggyback on somebody else who's doing a great job entertaining by sponsoring them to make sure that they stay active as entertainers. If they're doing a good job entertaining, they want to pay them to stay alive, and then use that sponsorship as visibility, and get them to talk, have that visibility come with like, this is brought to you by da 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 da, just like they used to do that on TV, like, this show is brought to you by Dove, the Wonder Soap. Use it on your armpits, makes the stink go away, or whatever, but they're capitalizing on the entertainment value of that show, right? Well, social media has got to do the same thing. Just, companies haven't yet realized that if they're going to drive traffic to their own presences and then advertise within their own spaces, then they need to be entertaining. The entertainment is the thing that drives people to social media, because it's a social platform. Therefore, they either need to be entertaining, or they need to stop trying to be entertaining and throw their money behind other people who are entertaining and capitalize on their ability to entertain and collect audience members by supporting them with free swag and monetary benefits. Freaking pay them, And a lot of companies are doing that. A lot of companies are sponsoring even small, like, streamers and stuff like that. But yeah, and streaming doesn't always have to be video games. There's a lot of IRL streamers that are just funny. There's this one dude who does this thing called Push TV, and he trolls people for a living, and he's funny. He's humorous, But anyway, what other kind of questions you got? I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, in essence, there's no like set platform for companies to be on. In terms of if I'm giving you advice, like what to learn or where to start in learning social media advertising, I would start with macro level understanding. That means big picture understanding. Go to the library, which people don't do anymore, but go to the library, spend some time in a library, Google the history of libraries, figure out why libraries stopped really being a big deal, and understand what they're trying to do to stay relevant in a time where technology has changed so much about what they have to offer, because that technology that's made that change is the same technology that's making companies adapt to, why sponsoring the Little League ball team is not the same visibility as it once was, and things like that. And if you have a macro level understanding of this stuff, that assists you when you go to make advertising material. Like I said, you have to understand the culture within which you're kind of trying to communicate, and whether what you're doing is culture or counterculture, and gauge, because it's all guesswork in a lot of ways. I think you have a good sense. I got a good sense about this. That's great. And then what we do is we pull the trigger and we do it, and then we check the data and we go, yeah, you didn't know what you were talking about, or yeah, no, that was a good idea. And we do our best to figure out what made that work well and do more of that. And when something doesn't work well, try our best to figure out why. But it's all guesswork in essence. it's data backed, so that we feel like it's informed, but it's all still guesswork. Verified, thank you, but I'm off to turn my mind into a law over the next 8 hours. Good night. All right, brother. Later, man. Anytime, obviously. Thanks for hopping on the stream. Thanks for chatting with me. Good looking out. Hey, bud. You going to sleep?
Well, that's...
Well... No?
I'm gonna sleep wherever you're sleeping.
Well, buddy, right now, I'm not sleeping. And you are about to go to sleep right now. So you're going to have to pick a place to sleep, even if I'm not there yet. So my recommendation would be for you to pick somewhere. Let's go.
Well, the door picked on your couch.
Okay. Wait, I mean, y'all can both lay down in here. One of you can lay on the floor, one of you can lay...
I'm laying on the floor.
Okay. Well, then one of you can lay up, and the other one can lay on the floor.
You mean one of us can lay on the couch and one of us can lay on the floor?
Sleep on the door? It's never gonna work.
It's never gonna work. Never. But I can really sleep on the door.
Huh?
Can you really sleep on the door?
In real life, can someone sleep on the door?
Huh?
No, babe. Not unless you take it off the wall and lay it down flat. Huh?
What's in pretend life?
In pretend life? Sure. Always. Anything is possible in pretend life. If you can imagine it, it's possible. Some of the things that you can imagine are also possible in real life, even though sometimes people think they're not. Like flying. Everyone used to believe that flying was impossible, and then somebody said, you know what, I think there's got to be a way, and they figured out how to go really, really fast with a pair of wings, and then we call them airplanes.
Well, that,
But we didn't always have airplanes. Somebody at one point made them.
like that, when the swimsuits were on our door. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure how this is relevant.
One time I threw a pair of my bathing suit bottoms up and landed on the top of the door, so I had to climb onto Avery's dresser to get them. But
Okay.
that was rude.
Well, it's not rude, buddy. It wasn't. That's not rude. That's not the definition of rude. Yeah. You don't explain what rude is to him? That is rude! Not like, no. No, it's really not. It's so funny. This guy's taking forever to kill. Holy moly. There's another one right there. Oh. Spinning circles.
Extraction is ready. Unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Really? 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 What ifs, dog? What ifs? I forgot to switch the names back. I know you told me. You were like, Dad, switch the names back. But I still totally forgot. KittyKnuckles and IIFORTNOXII. So above my video it says KittyKnuckles. I'm not KittyKnuckles! What are you doing? Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was just thinking that same thing, buddy. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike.
I want to ride my
Love you, dude. Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle's on the very best thing. Forget about your duty, oh yeah. Bicycle races are coming your way. Why are you looking at me with that face?
I'm tired, but I can't go.
Are you tired, but you can go see? Were you laying down?
Mm-hmm.
Was I making you stand up? Do you want to come lay down in here? Maybe. Do you want me to hold you for a minute?
Sure.
Come here. Oh! You're with me on stream. Say hi.
Hi.
I love you. I have an idea. Why don't you and Sissy take turns reading books to Avery till he goes to sleep?
Yeah, I'm trying to go to sleep now.
Why don't you let Aurora read books to y'all then, while y'all go to sleep? What do you think of that? Huh?
What about Eric? What
It's
about
okay, you don't have to like
you
reading.
What about Eric takes
Huh?
reading yourself too?
Come on, read 1 or 2 books to your brother and sister.
Or 4 books. Or 4. I don't want 4 is the littlest number ever.
4 is the littlest number ever?
I'm not. 4 is the fastest and strongest and size of me. He's only tiny as me. Look, he's dressed up like me. He has doggy pants and the Captain America
I am
shield
having
shirt.
to beat these
And
guys
he runs super fast.
really bad.
Seriously?
But
Now that I'm in bed, what do you I read books to myself, but I don't know how to read them.
okay, you can do that. You can read books to yourself if you want.
I can't read.
You can try. You gonna hop down? Y'all need to get in bed though. 'Cause your mom said you gotta get up in the morning and you were supposed to be in bed.
Go back to you, because you're just playing.
I think he was looking for a book.
He was climbing corner behind the couch. He's not supposed to be reading books I've already read to him or sung to him. He needs to be going to sleep.
Yeah.
Adrian. You came in here because you thought you would have an excuse to talk.
In this case, there's such a thing as too much efficiency. Let them catch up.
Oh, messed up.
Training is complete.
Ringers! Nobody brings ringers to my index. Get out of here, Glass.
Oh man.
Does he have a player in here?
I guess so.
Remember you know this. Okay.
This Lena's makes a perfect pillow. Squishy and soft. That's what I'm doing. Love you, Mama. Elfie is off.
You want to turn that light out? You can, if you want to. Would you run downstairs and get me a bottle of water real quick though, before you go to sleep? Thanks.
The bell about to ring.
About to ring! Okay, so now I understand. I have to lose. I have to win.
His gambler's instincts will make him walk away, and we'll have failed the Myconians.
I realize that now.
Your victory within this margin.
Alright, so here we go. There's 3 points.
Points in the open. Carnage. Points everywhere. Wonderful.
Oh,
You will
wow,
not
that's a
need
lot.
water again.
No, guess I won't.
Here you go. You can have those two right now, and then you can have these two later when you run out.
Not play video. Why go? I lost frame rates 22 minutes ago. Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Next points up for grabs. Annual Corp on the comeback.
Oh, they are. They got 1. Wouldn't necessarily call it a comeback.
Points in the vault. Points in the open.
is it, Anya? If we win this one, we're fighting for the return of Niwa in the next round. That, or we will walk away with your credits. You're in no position to dictate terms. You forget, this is my index. Ah, did you hear that, Tino?
Well, a
Anya
double
is
rainbow
afraid
is a
you
phenomenon of
lose.
optics that displays a
Dina,
spectrum of light due to the sun
what's
shining on droplets of
up?
moisture in the atmosphere. Does that explain it?
Yep, she's here. She says hi. Or she just liked the stream.
Hello, Miss Dina. See you at
Hey.
classrooms in the morning.
Broker down.
How long are you going to let them do this to you?
Broker down. Index points up for grabs. Watch this broker with a bucket load of index points. Will they make it to the ball? Big capitalization for Annual Corp. Index points up for grabs. Bad day for Annual and his investors. Index points up for grabs. Points in the bank mean credits in the pocket. Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Broker down. Big capitalization for Annual Corp. And there's the bell. 10-0 win. Disappointed expression. Investors, ready your brokers. The index is about to open.
Mr. Anya, are you afraid the void is no longer on your side? Blasphemy! I am an instrument of the void's will. From the void flows fortune to those worthy. Then prove you are worthy, Anya. Up your ante, Niwa and the Trayuna. You need to almost lose, not almost win. Aim to beat their score by a narrow margin. He was counting on you.
Broker down. More points in the ball. Market for Annual Corp. Broker down. Points in the open. Got him. Right in the finances.
What? No. Something got me. No, he cannot put that. No.
Eyes on that market upset.
difference between making them think they can win and then winning. Don't let them win.
Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Holding lots of points is dangerous.
And exciting!
Carnage! Points everywhere! Wonderful! Capitalization's trending up. Broker down. Trading over.
The void has spoken to me, Glass. I'll give you the chance you want, but it will cost you dearly. I will wager these pitiful colonists and their totem, but you must put in kind. If I lose, they're yours. But should I win, Glass, your corpus titles, holdings, land, all will be mine. So, what do you say?
I'm in.
Uh-oh. No! Oh, that's it. That's slid to the edge. No! I'm not sure. Oh, that's beautiful. Trying to see.
Papa said I was born special. Niwa, he said, you're not just our child. You're the Triuna, our protector. I guess no one asked to be the Triuna. It was just my turn. But without me, the Mumblers will take all of our families. They'll be mushed together like smudged ink. Lost forever. I have to get out of here. I have to get home.
I don't understand. Okay, cool.
Niwa is the Triuna. That's why Neff's so interested in her. Suddenly, this all makes sense. The Myconians had concealed her abilities to protect her. But why give a child such a burden?
My dear Glass, why are you so eager to tempt ruin for a little girl? You'll soon see how the void favors my fortune above yours.
My fortune above yours.
Wealth has no purpose until turned against suffering. I'd wager more.
Whoa, that's powerful. Wealth has no purpose until turned against suffering. Wow, what a cool statement. That is powerful. Did you hear that? Wealth has no purpose until turned against suffering. That's brilliant. Holy cow, that's brilliant. Holy cow. Wealth. Wealth, like money.
Streak stops here. The index is mine, after all.
Investors, ready
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
the index is about to open.
It's perfect in life in general. Yeah, man, it's a great statement, great thought.
And the brokers are off.
Whoa, there's a lot of damage coming my way. What?
What is this? What's going on?
He's cheating! That's what's going on!
I'll avoid that you're not cheating.
My dear Glass, I assure you I have no idea what you're talking about.
I assure you, you do know what I'm talking about.
I'm investigating the source of these anomalies.
Anomalies, nothing, man. You cheating, bro. You're straight cheating. Donkey cheats, man. Wait, wrong one. Here goes again, ready?
Watch this broker with a bucket load of index points. Will they make it to the vault? All eyes on that market upset.
Oh, shocking turn of events. Appropriate expression.
That broker's carrying a lot of points. This is a risky transaction. Points in the open. Got him right in the finances. Cephalon Sark's been resequenced as an announcer. Surprise! Look. Got him right in the finances. Got him
Oh,
right in the finances.
at least I know where they are now. Shocking turn of events.
More points in the vault.
So they've got 1 point.
All eyes on that market upset. And the index closes.
Glass, it looks like you're cracked.
You cheated, bro.
Just cracked under pressure.
Nah, man.
Mine in the black, and you're facing financial ruin. A deserving end for your contempt of the corpus way of life. They made you what you are. You deserve bankruptcy.
I guess I was supposed to tie the round.
Ergo's suspicions are correct.
No.
F cheated. I have identified the systems responsible for these cheats.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
need you to break into Annual Corp servers and steal the control codes.
Steal the control codes for traps.
are here to scale the control codes to Nick Daniels' terms.
Yes, I am.
Only
That's
then can we
exactly
begin
what I'm
creating the
here.
index.
Tenno, I need not remind you there is little margin for error. The fraudster cannot know we have gained the upper hand.
You've reached a vault. Find the console and retrieve the security code.
Leave me alone. Stop. Is Avery crying? Huh? Is that what it sounds like? Did you say yes?
He's either crying or singing.
Ah.
Sometimes he sings.
This isn't a code, it's something else. A recording from Niwa. Tenno, continue with your mission while I decrypt this message.
That's funny. Yeah.
You've reached a vault. Find the console and retrieve the security code.
Alright, this one's hard. Oh no. Oh!
Alarms! Data destruction is imminent. You need to hurry. This is it. We have the code.
You have executed the plan beautifully. Get ready for your next battle on the Index. The outcome promises to be much different.
Alright, I think I can do this. Especially if I can get to the very top. Oh no! That was close. Ha!
You got it. The data is still intact. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
Woo! Shakalaka! Hmm? What? Well, she said something. Huh? Maybe so. Avery Kai! Come here, buddy. Huh? Come here. What are you doing, dude?
Well,
What are you saying?
I was laying down while I was singing.
You were singing while you were laying down?
Uh-huh.
Is that you going to sleep?
No.
Okay, you think you could go to sleep?
Yeah, and I'm asking Mom to snuggle with me. Don't
You think she will?
No, I asked Mom and she said I'll be feeling safe.
Okay, alright.
How much longer can I go on for? The passing will come in a few years with no one to take the Triuna from me. I'll just be gone, surrounded by resting robots, and the Triuna will be lost forever.
Man, that's scary.
Ergo, what is this passing? What do you know about the Triuna?
Triuna is the Myconian's chosen one. It passes from one to the next in a simple ceremony. A pinprick on the finger is all it is.
Well, him?
A disease.
Yeah, he was making noises. I just wanted to see.
Yes, likely. The Myconians may be carriers with ancestral resistance to the infestation, or they are merely keepers of the flame, perpetuating a weaker strain through this ritual.
The infested fear hybrids.
They do, and so the Myconians harvest them without violence. That is their way of life. Eventually, the Triuna succumbs to the burden, and so they must pass it on and on, lighting a new torch before the other fades away.
Fades? You mean dies? We could cure her before that happened.
Of what? An extraordinary gift? No Triuna would ever want to lose that. They live in honor, to serve their people, for the greater good.
But they're only children.
It's over, Glass. I have everything I want. Niwa is mine, and the sequence's president is in ruin. You have nothing to wager that interests me.
The Myconians do. An old war relic will be our wager. In a way, a product of the void. Something you might have more than passing interest for. Am I right?
Don't kid yourself. What? It's disgusting. It's beautiful. Those colonists would wager this? Don't those idiots realize how much this is worth?
All or nothing. Held in escrow. Are you in, Neff?
Yes. By the void, I'm in.
Investors, ready your brokers. The index is about to open.
I've grown tired of this, brokers. Dish out your humiliation so I may retire to counting my riches.
Broker down.
Wait, what is this? Play fair, you metal wretches!
Index points up for grabs. Not a good day on the index for Neff and his brokers. Investors are eyeing those dropped points.
Come on, broker. How long are you going to let them do this to you?
Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Investors smiling on that capitalization. Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Eyes on broker with many points. Risky move. Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Investors are eyeing those dropped points. Restrained enthusiasm for that capitalization. Investors smiling on that capitalization. Index points up for grabs. Investors smiling on that capitalization. Trading over.
Congratulations, Tenno. But remember, on the index, nothing stays up forever.
This is the index. I'm Cephalon Sark, your unbiased host.
winning. By the void, this is my index. This shouldn't be possible.
Don't you recognize the free market in action, Mr. Anya? Allow my brokers to teach you how it's supposed to work.
Investors are eyeing those dropped coins. Annual Corp pulls ahead. Delightful. Index points up for grabs. Holding lots of points is dangerous and thrilling. Index points up for grabs. Index points up for grabs. Points in the bank need credits in the pocket.
Brokers, what's going on? Are you trying to get fired?
Not a good day on the index for Neff and his brokers. Broker down.
Oh!
Right in the finances.
I didn't see I had 10 health.
Credits in the pocket.
That's bad news.
All eyes on that market upset. Carnage! Points everywhere! Wonderful! Carnage! Points everywhere! Wonderful! Big capitalization for Annual Corp. Carnage! Points everywhere! Wonderful! That broker wants bonus! Investors are eyeing those dropped points! Training is complete!
Congratulations, Deno. But remember, on the index, nothing stays up forever.
Who rules the index? Find out when the bell rings.
Glast, what have you done?
I guess the odds aren't in your favor today, Neff.
Index points up for grabs. Investors smiling on that capitalization. It's a hostile market for Annual Corp. Broker down. Cephalon Sark's been resequenced as an announcer. Surprise! Look!
Yeah, for a little bit. Why? What do you need?
Index points up for grabs.
Okay. I can't hear you. What?
I was just checking if you wanted to watch it.
It's up to you. I've streamed for a little while, so I mean, I can stop if you want.
to me, I'm probably only gonna watch like one episode or something.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to watch it. So
I'm not even close to tired, so.
maybe just rest.
He was holding on by a thread,
I just had
man.
to sit there and
Yeah.
he's like, which one do you want? I like
I love him. He is so. He knows what he likes. And he's so straightforward about it, you know. I love that about him. Yeah, he does. I also love that about him. Because he's funny. Yeah. Alright, I mean, do you want me to come down there and hang out with you, or are you wanting to... It doesn't matter to me. It's up to you. If you wanted to do something or whatever, let me know. Okay. Ding ding victory!
Well, well, look at that. Even a loser can win a coin toss now and then. Now, let's say we do a rematch. I'll throw in some of your old holdings in Eris.
I think we'll cash in now, Mr. Anyo. Don't want to push our luck too far.
What? No, wait just a moment. I have an exciting wager for you. Ore discoveries in the outer sectors. And to up the ante, a new 200 of bursts hot off the assembly line. What do you say? Are you in? Hello? Answer me!
Think we'll cash it now.
Lotus, you may now return the child to her people.
She could be cured. Why return her? So she lives a shortened life surrounded by monsters?
Surrounded by family, her people who honor her. Are you really going to impose your own values on these people you don't understand?
She only thinks this is what she wants. What you call tradition, others call indoctrination. If she comes to the relay and is cured, she'll be free to return to her people if that's her choice.
And the Myconians, without the passing, their way of life will end forever. Their skills, their traditions, wiped out by a powerful outsider.
They'd have to adapt, yes. We'd do our best to protect them, as we do for all that suffer. Tenno, you've lived through similar obligations. What would you choose for Niwa?
It's not really my choice, is
I've
it?
returned to my people, but I've decided I will be the last Triuna. I want a future where all of the children can be happy. A new tradition. Papa is so proud of me. The last Triuna and greatest of all. The one that changed Myconians forever.
I'm gonna cry. It's like Moana. Ah. No, Niwa. So sad, Niwa. No. could have sworn that I get the Warframe. Nice. Yeah, there it is right there. Yay! Alright, cool. I really want to farm these up. Nidus is one of my favorites. Just can't remember where to go. Is it Derelict? Phobos? Arcling? No, I don't remember. Is it Pluto? Infestation? Sabotage, exterminate, capture.
Operator,
Mate.
are you visualizing a bloody battle? Me too.
Maybe it's on Eris. Yeah, that's like it. Mobile defense, infestation. Capture, infestation, harnet infestation. Interception. Okay. Okay, Google. Where do I farm the Nidus parts? I don't recall. I had to farm Nidus. Da-da-dum. Nidus. Da-da-dum. Austrius. Hey, there it is. Oh, infested salvage. Solo mode. Get going in, spring another access in, make sure you. Zero squads. Alright, I'll have to do that later. I guess I'm going to end stream for now. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the good commentary and questions. See you.